Rabbeinu is talking to the Bnei Gad, the Bnei Reuban. ועכשיו אשכם בראיסה אלימה, בשם מלכיכם נשם לכם בתוארת הזויס ברשתה, חלוצם תעברו לפני אחיכם בני ישראל, כל בני ישראל. כך נשתיכם ותפכם ומקניכם, ידעתי כמקנה רב לכם. ישו ביריכם אשר נשאתי לכם. When the Bnei Reuban and Bnei Gad originally requested that they should get their nachla in Eva Yadim Mizracha, they asked that Givrei Tzai Nidna L'Tzeneinu, the Avim L'Tapeinu. They first asked that the sheep, the tzai, should be accommodated. And then, Adam L'Tapeinu, for the children and for the women. And Moshe Rabbeinu criticized them. You're not mad at them. You don't give priority first to the sheep and then to the children. So he told them, you should build Adam L'Nashaychem L'Tapeichem, the Gairais L'Tainachem, first for the children and then for the sheep. And Moshe Rabbeinu here in Zorin repeats it again. That Nashaychem L'Tapeichem U'Mikneichem, your wives, your children, and your cattle, your livestock. I know that you have a lot of mikne, a lot of animals. And here, Moshe Rabbeinu also is magdim, Neshaychem V'Tapechem, and then U'Mikneichem. I know, but you do have a lot of animals. Now, if somebody has money in the bank and he wants to keep it a secret, and I would tell him, look, I know you have money. And don't try to conceal it from me. But when somebody has animals all spread in the country, grazing on the fields, so Moshe Rabbeinu says, I know you have animals. So what does he know? Everybody knows. There's nothing to conceal there. Nothing to hide. What does Moshe Rabbeinu mean when he says, Yadati? I know. I happen to know. Yeah, you're right. I know that you have a lot of commitment avlachem. The Pashas Matzos, the Torah tells us, ומקנה אדם חיה לבני גד ולבני רeuban עצום ומאוד. And a lot of mikne. Now, it's what suffice that the Torah would tell us they had a lot of mikne. But why not the Torah say עצום ומאוד? It's a flood. A lot of mikne. Is the Torah really so interested in mikne? Does the Torah give such importance to mikne that you must give it the distinction of Atzum and Ma'ayid? The Bible says that the Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuban were guilty of receiving a nachla b'vaychala. They hurried nachla. Why did they hurry? Why couldn't they wait until Moshe Rabbeinu or Yeshua is going to
It's 6:30.
Why did they ask for it and they didn't wait until all he knew to get their land on Abraham in Marava? Nachla b'vaychala. It was a hurried nachla, and therefore they were going to the Reish Goyim. They were the first ones to go and go. from Chayrev was the Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuben were the first ones to be exiled by from Chayrev. So the Sfas explains that the Vadai Luchen Hayazah HaChaylik Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuben. This Chaylik, when Eber Ayavin Mizracha, was really prepared. It's Nocha, it's their Chaylik. But they should have waited until it's given to them al pi ha-Torah. They knew that it's their Chaylik. And but they didn't get it al pi ha-Torah. They asked for it without Moshe Rabbeinu first telling them that it's theirs. That's what Sfas says. So this Sfas is a very important piece of Sfas, and I feel that I want to elaborate a little. The cloud is whatever a person has is his. The nefesh of the person is nespashet in his refresh. A person's nefesh really extends into his belongings. His belongings are also part of him. Now, supposing I come to your house and you have a bottle of soda, and you treat me with a cup of soda. That cup of soda which I receive is my cup of soda with nefesh and nefesh which are shayach to me. And nobody else in the world can drink that. The rest of the soda in the bottle is yours. And it's the reuban who with hashgacha pratis, with Eisa Gezeirache, with an exact hashgacha pratis, that no computer would ever be able to divide things and it should be given to the right owner. Everybody gets what's his. Who cannot get what's not his. Now, supposing there's a certain person, let's go on the hospital, and he sees a certain thing, a certain article by somebody else, and he wants to get it. And he tries all tricks and manipulations, dishonest, until he acquires it. And he gets it. So what happens if or a building or a dealer? So the Pasuk says, "Hay bayna bayse belaytzer, belayase belayvenish." But the Hatziyama the Azvenu, he's going to lose it. But it's his. He acquired it. The pshat is about it's his. If it wouldn't have been his, he never would have acquired it. But if he would not have used unseen methods of acquiring it, if it wouldn't have a reyach of gezeilah, of a na'ah, of deceit, he would have gotten it anyway. He certainly would have gotten it. But he hurried. He got it below his man. And therefore his einish is the Hatziyama the Azvenu. He will not be zeicher to do the avodah of Bilal and the Tzaitzis in his own piece of the Chush. It will be taken away from him. And that's what the Sfas means. However, since the Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuben did get a rayam in Mizracha, with what a criticism that we see about it, it's theirs. If they wouldn't have asked for it, they would have gotten it anyway. Moshe or Yeshua would have given it to them. And then it would have been al pi ha-Torah. But they hurried, not from a vayhala. They got it shalei al pi ha-Torah. And therefore, before the other Shvatim, they went to Gadlus. That's a key yom of Yazven. The Mishnah says, Basara Mamarais Nivra Ha'ayra. 10 times it says, Vayomer Alekim, by Ma'aseh Bereishis. According to the Gemara, there's Machlokes, the Zohar says otherwise. But according to the Gemara, these 10 Mamarais end with Vayichulu Hashemayim. So the Gemara asks the Kash and Rosh Hashanah, there are only 9 Mamarais. It says only 9 times Vayomer Alekim. So the Gemara answers, Bereishis Nami Maimah. The word Bereishis is also a Maimah. That the word Bereishis is a Maimah, that really reveals to us how high, how ma'od na'ala this first Maimah of Bereishis is. The Maimah of Bereishis is so high, so lofty, that it couldn't condescend to go into the Isis of Vayomer. It's higher than Isis. This is the Hezbollah of the Beverage Shammai. The Bereishis is higher than Isis. Bereishis Nami Maimah, but the first Maimah is very, very high. We have no Asagah in it. We have no Tzisa in it. It's too lofty. We can't grasp it. These 10 Mamarais, which the Mishnah speaks about, and in the Chiddush Tzvarim and in Kabbalah Tzvarim, it's called the 10 Tzvirais, but we won't treat it as such. These 10 Mamarais are divided into sections. Gimel Rishonos, the first 3, and then the Sheva Achareinos. We are familiar with the Sheva Achareinos. We use it in Sfiyah, the Chesed, the Dura, the Teres, Netzach, Yisai, Malchus. These are the 7 last Mamarais. The first 3 are beyond our grasp. We can't understand it. We have no tfisa in it. These are the first 3. If we would look at the Mamarais, the first Maimah is Bereishis. Who understands Bereishis? It never even coagulated into words, into ideas. The second Maimah of Vayomer Alekim Yehi Oil. It's a heavenly Maimah. It's something heavenly. Bereishis is heavenly. Yehi Oil is heavenly. That's the Oil HaGanuz, which we don't have in this world. It's heavenly. The third one, Lirakia. It's heavenly. Something beyond our grasp. After that comes the 7 bottom Mamarais. Yikavu Amayim, the Seva Hayavasha. After that comes the Ma'ayrais. And here, the Ma'ayrais are already L'hoyer Ala'ot for the purpose of Eretz, for the purpose of birth. He Ayah is heavenly. He Ma'ayrais already is earthly. That should be for time. Time is earthly. Bashamayim is l'malam and azman. The Pashas Lech Lecha, by the birth by Napsarim, we have Vayayim Haru Karas Hashem es Avram Bris, Leimal Zarach Eden es Aretz Adreis Menha Mitzrayim, Adamar Agadon HaPres, Esakeni, Esaknihi, Esakadnoini, Esaknani, Achiti, Amayri, and so on. Avram Avinu was promised by the reuban 10 other things, 10 territories. In the Sefer Yeshua, and also mentioned after that, even in Chumash, whenever the reuban speaks about Eretz Yisrael in Pashas Shmais, when the Rebbe tells Moshe Rabbeinu go and take Yidden out of Mitzrayim, because I want to bring them out of Taknani, Vachiti, V'Mayri, we have no mention of the first three, Hakeni, Haknivi, V'Kadmaini. These are only mentioned once in Pashas Lech Lecha, and that's all. Since then, we only know of the 7 territories of Aknani, Achigi, Amari, Achigi, Rusi, Achigi, Yagodashi. No mention of the first 3. The first 3 are very lofty territories. Akaini, Vaknivi, Vakadmaini. These are Amin, Mayav, and Esav. Ammon and Mayav, they're probably the Arab countries, and Esav, these are the European countries. These countries are all going to be the Chelek of Klal Yisrael, they're going to be the territories of Klal Yisrael when Mashiach Tzidkenu will come. And there's going to be a new Hanhaga in the world. There's going to be Yemei Hashemayim al ha'aretz, heaven upon earth. The days of when Shemayim will come down to earth, it happened once by Mount Torah. And that's going to happen in the Zman HaTzik. And we're going to acquire then the Shalita over the Kaini, the Knizi, and the Kadmaini, like the Reuban promised to Abraham Avinu. But right now, these territories are shrouded with the Klippa, with Sitcha Achre, with the Goyim of the Kaini, the Knizi, and Kadmaini, Esav, and Yishmael, who they cover these territories like the Orla covers the Eretz Kodesh. In fact, there's a big cloud that is Sazanis, that wherever you see a big tumah, the bigger the tumah is, the more the Kedusha is beneath the tumah. If you are going to be successful in cutting away the tumah, you're going to be zeicha to the bigger Kedusha. So therefore, this Kaini, Knizi, Kadmaini, the Kedusha there is bigger than an Eretz Yisrael. In fact, the Chesed Avraham from the Azulai says this. The Chesed Avraham, the grandfather of the Chidah, that Eretz Amin and Mayav, the land of Eida, Yad, and Mizracha, has a potential Kedusha bigger than Eretz Yisrael proper, but only when Mashiach will come. Before Mashiach comes, Adarabah, it's lower. The Pasuk calls it Eretz Tmeya than Yeshua. And it hasn't got the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael proper, the Gevulos of the Gevulos which are mentioned in Pashas Masay. But that's going to be after the Orla is going to be removed. And when the Ruach HaTzumah Avim in the earth, and then we're going to enjoy and benefit from the superb Kedusha of the land of the Kaini, the Knizi, and Kadmaini, which were promised to Avraham Avinu. And the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael is going to spread all over the globe. Corresponding to these 10 territories, that 3 of them are not accessible because the Tumah has it in its talent. And we can't get it, it's too tiny. In fact, the Reuban tells us in Pashas Chukas that we have no business acquiring the land of Ammon and Moab. and certainly not of Esav. That Moshe Rabbeinu was Kadesh, the Sich and the Eich. The Gemara explains is because Ammon and Mayav Tiru the Sich. Moshe Rabbeinu was not allowed to touch Ammon and Mayav. But Sich and Eich, they first have acquired, through Milchama, they have acquired certain portions of Ammon and Mayav. So now, when the Yidden have Milchama with Sich and Eich, they're not really waging war with Ammon and Mayav. They're doing it with Sich and Eich. Ammon and Mayav Tiru the Sich. So we have it with the Eidolei Adam and Rachav, the land of Reuban and Gad, was a small piece of Ammon and Mayav, which was conquered by Sich, and therefore Moshe Rabbeinu was able to conquer it from Sich. Corresponding to these 10 territories, the 3 of them are not accessible. They're still too lofty, and the Tama, they're still in the Sharita of the Tama is still silent here. And the other 7 territories which we got in Eretz Yisrael, which Yeshua was Kadesh, corresponding to these 10 territories, are 10 weeks before Rosh Hashanah. Starting from Tammuz, which is Samuch to Rosh Hashanah, the Tfinas Lavat, the 3 Chadashim close to Tishrei. Starting from Tammuz, we already start preparing for the Tishrei Asniv Ligoyim, so the Geula of Tishrei. And we have to start working on it. And we have 10 weeks. The 3 weeks of Avirus, and after that, the 7 weeks of Shevet and Nachemot. The 7 weeks which start with Nachem and Nachemot. The 7 weeks which start with Nachem and Nachemot, we have a Hasaga in it. There are weeks of Nechama, weeks of Simcha, weeks of Nevuah, of which every Haftarah it has such wonderful, soothing, pleasureful promises of how the Yiddish world and how the Goyish world is going to be after the Amaisa Mashiach. But the 3 weeks before, which starts with Shivas of the Tammuz, these 3 weeks are the Kaini, the Knizi, and the Kadmani. It was promised to Avraham Avinu. When Mashiach will come, these are going to be the most joyful weeks of the year. The Mashiach says so in Tmuna, I believe, and the Sfar HaMikdash more tell us that when Mashiach will come, these are going to be the biggest in Antaiva. And like Chaya Navi says, Tzayma Revi, the Tzayma Chemishi, the Beit Yehuda, the Sassan, the Simcha, the Mayad and Taiva. They're going to be the biggest Yom in the year. Tisha B'Av is going to be like Simchas Taiva. Exactly 3 weeks are corresponding to the 3 weeks between Rosh Hashanah and Simchas Taiva. The Sfar HaMikdash tells us. So these 3 weeks are really the Kaini, the Knizi, the Kadmani. They're highly developed. There's a lot to it. The Avodah Yisrael, the Tashna Tzalmagid B'chainu L'Varcha. Right. Korek Tzari, Yigula Beina Mitzadim. Whoever wants to reach the Shekhinah can reach the Shekhinah Beina Mitzadim more than any other time of the year. But you have to toil. It's hard. You have to dig in the filth which covers the Kedusha of these 3 weeks. And come to the Abanam Tzaylis HaMagalim. It's harder to learn in these 3 weeks. He says it in Irish. It's harder to daven in these 3 weeks. There's a tumor over these weeks. It's the domains of the Samach Man. It belongs to the Sitcha Achra. Don't touch it. It belongs to the Sitcha Achra. Ki Yerusha v'Yaisim Nestati is Haseyo. Amen and Mayav Kilivnei Light Nestati Yerusha. Don't touch it. It's too tummy. But we're even supposed to do mitzvahs. And when we learn and daven with extra yikir in these 3 weeks, we can come to bigger netzitas of Kedusha than any other time of the year, because we can dig out netzitas which belong to the Yemaisa Mashiach, to higher days, to days of tomorrow, when we're going to have the Tainik Nizi Kamayim. So, these 3 weeks, these 10 weeks, before Rosh Hashanah, we're preparing for the Tishrei Yasidim Ligoyim. The Lechevitcher said, the Matzah Lechevitcher said, that the Chaydish Kam, Shiva after the Kam, the 3 weeks, Tishabot, the 7 weeks of Nechamis, all is a Hachana to Ata Harei Saravah, which we say on Simchas Torah. And he says a marshal, somebody wants to make a beautiful embroidered piece, wants to make a beautiful piece of embroidery. We'll take a black cloth, and over the black cloth he's going to start embroidering with red, with yellow, with green, pictures of birds, of a tree, of flowers, and when everything is ready, it's so beautiful. The black background will give such an impression. It will give so much beauty to the picture. If the background wouldn't have been black, the picture would have had only half of the beauty that it has. These black 3 weeks are the background for the Kedusha, which we will be zeifer to on Simchas Torah. It's all have to have the achana to Simchas Torah, and Rosh Hashanah also, of course, is the achana to Simchas Torah. Everything is the achana to Simchas Torah. What the Shalosh Moedim are. So these weeks are really have a lot of Kedusha in them. And when we're going to look at the entire picture, we're going to see how much emphasis this black background gives to the beautiful picture. We weren't yet zeifer for the Kedusha of the 3 weeks of the Gimel V'Shem. We weren't yet zeifer for the Tainik Nizi Kamayim. These are higher spheroids, they're lofty, they're not earthly. In Svaramad, the first 3 mamarais are called Alma Diaskatia, a hidden world. And Adrabah, the Kedusha and the Simcha which comes from Alma Diaskatia, for the one who Mikashed himself with the Alma Diaskatia, which are the first 2 Isis, L'Shem Avaya, Yud-Kei. The Alma Diaskatia is the Vav-Kei of L'Shem Avaya. This we can be zeicher to see. That reveals to us. But Alma Diaskatia, the Yud-Kei, is concealed from us. And Adrabah, the Kedusha and the Simcha, and the Atzlachas that come from Alma Diaskatia, which come from Yisuvim Eloheinu and other undesirable things. Adrabah, but with the Tatan and the Muna, we can be Mahapachis. An elaborate deal on this Alma Diaskatia, and how we need is supposed to approach and how he's supposed to have an attitude when demons come on him, and he should believe that it comes from Alma Diaskatia with the moon on the Tachin, and that's going to be Mahapach, everything that's over. An elaborate explanation on that one can find in the Idrei HaKadosh in the Tanya, Igeres Yud Aleph. Now, these 3 weeks, these 3 territories, Akeni, Aknizi, V'Hakadmaini, these territories are something which we cannot be traced. They're gracious. The beginning. In fact, the three territories in the Mammaris do start with the word gracious. And the other two are also heavenly. We don't have any grasp on them. Gracious. Reuban was a Bechayim. Reuban is gracious. Being that he's a Bechayim, he has a shaykhus to everything that is righteous. And he lost because he was pagan. And he lost the Bechayim. Like Yankov Avinu told him, Reuven, Bechayim, Kaifi v'reishis Reini, you are my reishis. You should have had, yes or seis, yes or us. Avoid the Malchus, the Karuna. But Pachas Kamayim, you hurried. You hurried. You did something fast without thinking. Not like Hara. The Reuven is the righteous. The klal is, like Svar Motivation tells us, that when the Olam HaTikun will come, all the begonim will be rinsed out. All the begonim will be washed out. And then every began being removed will bring the person back to his original tikkun. Adam Rishon Eitzim V'Yetzirah by Martin Trailer, it's what has been removed. You're just ready for the tikkun. It's not for the 40th day. Martin Trailer should have lasted 40 days. On the 40th day, which came out Shivas of the Thomas, which was supposed to be the highlight of Martin Trailer, the Rosh Rabbeinu comes over to Ruchais, so that's when we had to begin. So the Gemara says, and the Ashins are blessed. And I thought that it would be like the Malasim, but you won't die anymore. It would be like Adam Rishon before the fact. You're going to die like Adam did because of the begam of the ego. When the begam is removed, everything returns to the tikkun. All the begonim, all the spots, the filth is washed off. And then you have the beautiful piece of material, as beautiful as it was, before it became filthy with the spots. Probably this is why we can't wash in the 9 days. They're not Yemen of Tikkun. We can't wash. But when the Olam HaTikun, Reuven will get back his Bechayim. That's what the Yeriah claims. When Mashiach will come, the Avayim will go back to the Bechayim. The Bechayim lost their Ma'ila because of the Begam, because of the Eilu. They'll come back to them. How is it going to be? Whether the Kainim are also going to be Kainim, probably they will. But the Gemara says in Yuma, a Ma'ila which is acquired, you don't lose. But Reuven will get back his Ma'ila of the Bechayim. He is the righteous Ayin. He is the righteous. And the other Shaykh is to the Maisa Mashiach, the righteous. To the first one of the Mammaris. He is righteous. There's another Shaykh that has a Shaykh with the Maisa Mashiach. And that's good. Like the Medrash says, Taisus brings it in Taisus of the Gittin, Eliyahu is from God. He is Geula. God is the Shevet of Geula. The other Shaykh is too righteous. And even though it isn't apparent so in Parshas Matos, but in Reis Brach we have it b'Feirish. Rashi says it's b'Feirish. When Moshe Rabbeinu praises God for wanting
it's 7 o'clock.
Why did God want Reishis? Why did he want to stay in Eivayad and Mizracha? Kisham Chalkas Machaykik Satan, because Moshe Rabbeinu was Nikbar over there. He's buried there. He wanted to be with Moshe Rabbeinu. And that, corresponds with the law from the Chedesh Yerim, that the Bnei Gad and Bnei Reuben wanted Eivayad and Mizracha, and not that they should go across the Yarden and Yeshua should give them their land. They wanted a kiddush of Moshe Rabbeinu, not of Yeshua. God wanted the Reishis, Kishem Chalkas Machaykik Satan, because Moshe Rabbeinu was buried there. He's hidden there. He's concealed there. For Reuven and Gad, Gimel Rishonis. In fact, Gimel Reish, which is in the Sfarim used for Gimel Rishonis, is Gad Reuven. So they wanted the land of the Keni and the Knesset. I would say that they wanted the land of the Keni and the Knesset because it's righteous. Because Reuven is a B'chaya. He has a shaykhut with the Eila Matik. He is the B'chaya. He is blemished now because of the Pegam. But when that blemish will be longer, he'll get back his Ma'ila. God had a Ma'ila. Alien. A Shevet that has a shaykhut with righteous. They are righteous. Kadmaini Esav we can't touch. Kirushim Esav and the Sati is Hasraya. Like we have in this week's Sabbath, that the Rebbe just said, don't touch Esav. I won't give you anything from Esav but Nidrach Taf Rebbe. So Rashi says, until the Mashiach will come and there will be Mikuyim, the Yom Du Hagro, Bayayin Harur, Harazay. The Taf Rebbe of the Rabban Yishvay. They wanted to be Zaycha in the Keni and the Knesset to be Mamshech, even the Kadmain. The Reishis alone, which is Esav. Because if you have two, the third one becomes purple. Like Moshe Rabbeinu was Mispala on the Reuven, Yechida Reuven, the Aliyamah. He should get up from his Nefila, man, the Nafel, Minak, and Chide Vayamis. Anybody that falls down from his Madrega, the Zayah says, that needs Misa. Yechida Reuven, the Aliyamah, because of the Brachni, that's what Moshe Rabbeinu, even though he wasn't Zayah from the Bracha of Yankiv Avinu. Yechida Reuven, these two Shvatim, they're in the titles of Chayva. They're in the titles of the Emaisa Mashiach. The Chayva became Nivim. I can't elaborate too much now, but when the Chayva of Reuven became Nivim, generally the Chayva became Nivim. And because of a similar began, we won't discuss it now, Menashe lost his Chayva. Menashe was in the same cloud to a degree as the Shvatim. Just like Yankiv Avinu was Ma'ilid Shvatim, Yosef was Ma'ilid Shvatim. Ephraim and Menashe. So really, Menashe are B'chayim. Menashe should have been B'chayim. But he lost his B'chayim, and Ephraim took over the B'chayim. Now, Menashe isn't the real B'chayim as much as Reuven is, because after all, he's the grandchild of Yankov, not the son of Yankov. So really, who was Zaycha to the B'chayim of Menashe? Chatzi Shevet of Menashe. It's only a half. So these three Shvatim, the Reuven and Gad and the Chatzi Shevet of Menashe, they have a Shaychus to the Eretz HaKeni V'Knezi, and they're candidating for the Kadmaini, for Esav alone. In the beginning of the Torah, by the word Reishis, Rashi tells us, why does the Torah start with the Chaydish Azalachem? The Torah should have started with the first mitzvah. Excuse me, why does the Torah start with the Reishis Baralachem? The Torah should have started with the first mitzvah, Chaydish Azalachem. Because of Kayach Naim Sozig V'Layamai, Rosei Slahem and Nachalas Drai. So the Bible sure wanted to show that the Elohim that the Moshe were going to say that the human asylum told the Yidden Torah that teaches mitzvahs. So the Torah should have started with mitzvahs. And that that should say that after the mitzvahs, after the order, Tanya mitzvahs, there should have been a chapter or a paragraph or a phrase or that should tell us, Brash's Baruchim, it's a Shema V'Savach, the prime thing is a mitzvah. So Rashi doesn't answer that. Because the other machine about Tziyam, Rishbet HaCharetzot, if the machine are going to ascend the Har Tziyam to judge the Har Esav, if they want to judge the Har Esav, like the din of the Dayanim is, like it says, like we have in the Pashut with the Dayanim, they should have come to the Har Esav to Rishbet HaCharetzot. You got to go to the place of the crime. They go up to the Hatziyah to Mishpat the Haretzot. The pshat is, when Mashiach will come, the Kadmaini, which is Esav, will become part of Eretz Yisrael. So, and it will become a sniff to an extension to the Hatziyah. The other machine, the Hatziyah, Rishbet HaCharetzot, that Haretzot should also be the Hatziyah. The Kadmaini is corresponding to the first one of the Ma'amarim, to Bereshis. And Bereshis is the lofty Maimar, the highest Maimar that can be. Then we got the origin. There's a scripture. Whatever is doing Kedusha isn't going to turn up. So there's a clipper which is a lofty clipper. We have no access to it. That's Esav. Kadmaini. Yerusha Esav Nesatis Haseya. It's untouchable. Leave it on. We have no access to it. So where do we find the clipper of Esav? It's not by the word Bereshis. Because Bereshis is the Kedusha. And what is the all that covers up Bereshis, that because of that we can't have the Kadmaini? That's Esav. He's the all over the Kedusha. Wherever the Kedusha is greater, the clipper is greater. So the Reuban told the Yidden, he started the Torah with Bereshis, with Koyach Mainz of Ligad. Because Bereshis is the first of the Ma'amarim, corresponding with the Kadmaini, with Esav, which is the first of the Ma'amarim of Tumah. And therefore, Dafke Bereshis over here is Koyach Mainz of Ligad to tell us that the Kadmaini, by the word Bereshis, we ask why does the word Bereshis over here tell us that the Bnei Yisrael made the world? So really what it could, I would say that what Rashi is telling us here is this. The Goyim come at the time of the Eden, and they tell us, listen at them. Who would feed? Shekavashtem Adam Shiva Ummah. So we tell them, the joke's on you. You're Michigan. You have kindness to us that we conquered the small piece of territory which you call Palestine, which is the Shiva Ummah. And the joke's on you. We really are desperate to conquer the entire world, not just Eretz Yisrael. Kala Olam Shalakadosh Baruch Hu. What are you complaining about the Shiva Ummah for? So therefore, it's limited back to vibrations that the Kadmaini, that Esav, that he is the Sar of the whole world. The whole Gaisha world, because the Kadmaini, the Sar of Esav, is the Samach Mem alone. He's the Reish of all the Shiva Ummah, like it says in Sfarim. So that's the vibrations. It's Koyach Mainz of Ligad. The Rebbe wants to tell us what we're not going to get. They have Bereshis, so they have the Kadmaini, which is all the over-bracious, and they're going to come to the core, and they're going to have this bracious, they're going to have the land of the Kadmaini. So, Kayach 9 specifically is the Gematria of the Kadmaini. The Benishlam promised Avram Avinu as a Kaini, as a Knigi, as a Kadmaini. The Kadmaini is Kayach 9 specifically the Elisha Kulem Nachlav Gayim, Avor Gayim. Nachlav Gayim is the Gematria Malachus Kedem. That's what they're going to get. So that's what the answer to Gayim. Why are you making yourself nervous about the Elohim's Christ? If you want to complain about the whole world. Because it's Muslim, it's right by the respiration that the Kadmaini is out. So, and then we're going to be Zayzer, the Bahad Eisov. And then not just the Shevet and the Chemotza are going to be the happy, delightful weeks. The first 3 weeks are going to be even more happy and more delightful. Because we're going to be Zayzer them to the Kaini, the Knezi, and the Kadmaini. It says from Rav Shamshin's Papalia, the Yemei Hilach HaMeraglim, the 40 days that the Meraglim traveled, which was the basis of their Lashon Hara on Eretz Yisrael, the Pasuk says the Ayamin Yemei Bikurei Anavim. So Rav Shamshin's Papalia, who was a Kedesh earlier, he was from the Kedesh which were killed in the Gezeirah Tach. He says, please the Ketzayah, which we can't understand how a Yelobisha can say such things. One of the famous players has me identified, which we say, so he says, in the 40 days of the Hilach of the Meraglim, you may be Kurei Anad. They're the days of Bikurim, the Chayre of Anavim. The word Anavim is spelled without a yud, and Bikurim means before. They're Magadim, Kaidim. Before the Ayin, there's a Samach in the other place. Before the Nun, there's a Nun. Before the Yud, before the days rather, there's an Aleph. And before the Mem, there's a Lamed. So you have Samach Mem and Aleph Lamed. I don't want to say out the words. That's the name of the Samach Mem. So the Hayim Yemei Bikurei Anavim, these 40 days, these are the domains of the Samach Mem. And therefore, it was Gairim that the Yidden, that the Meraglim were nifshel them. This clip is now under the government of the Sitcha, the 40 days, which is really the Chodesh Tammuz, and the 9 days, which are the extension of the Chodesh Tammuz, the 40 days of the Megillah HaMeraglim. Like the Samsaipa says, that really, when it comes the 10th day of a new Chodesh begins. It has no Shaitas with us. We first belong to Tammuz. In the middle of the Chodesh, you can have a new Chodesh. And in his Tshuvos, which he wrote, after Tisha B'Av, he never used the word Av, he used the word Menachem. It's a new Chodesh. The 9 days really are still a trail of Tammuz. Tammuz is a midas hadin hakasha, much more than Av. You will find this in the Bnei Safra, that Tammuz is midas hadin hakasha. The Shem of Ayabak, which Av isn't that way. So these are Yemei Bikurei Anavim. They belong to Ein Sof, to the Samach Mem. We could be Maranas. The Ayanim Yemei Bikurei Anavim is the Gematria Har Eisov. This is the Har Eisov that the Moshe and the Har Tzidin will miss it, that this Har Eisov becomes ours. And then another will be with the Yud. That will be the Kedusha. and the kadmoni will be ours. The full kadmoni. The purpose of the kadmoni, the klal of the Abinachal says, a klal, that in the gematria, the Rebbeinu Shloim created the world with gematrias, like the Ramban writes in the Yadam HaKuchamish. In the gematria, it's something as with the nirui, it's in the fullest extent. If you fill up the atheist with the nirui, like Aleph isn't plain Aleph, it's Aleph Lamed Pei. Now, if we would spell the word kadmoni with the nirui, that is the kuf, is kuf vav pei, and the dalet is dalet lamed taf, and the mem is mem, and the vav is vav aleph vav, like you have that in Zayah constantly, and the nun is nun vav yud, nun vav nun, and the yud is yud vav dalet. Kadmoni with the nirui is the gematria Mashiach b'Har. This is the purpose. This is the fulfillment on the purpose of the B'riyah of the kadmoni, that it should become the Har. Now, there's a lot from the Rebbe Rabban who mixed the Rav Chaya L'vnei Gad L'vnei reuban Atzam Ma'ayid. So the Rebbe Rabban wouldn't like to learn it off Pshat, that it means they had animals. And the titles on the Sefer Rav Atzam Ma'ayid about animals. He says that Moshe Rabbeinu, this Kavura is an Eivra Yadam Nizracha, Kisham Chalkas Machai Kiksafim. And B'nai Reuban and God wanted to be an Eivra Yadam because they wanted it to be there where Moshe Rabbeinu is, where he's buried. The Rav, who makes the Rav, the kinyan of the Rebbe, Chayel B'nai Reuban. That's what the Rebbe Rabban says. With Archeinu, on the same vein, I would say that being that the B'nai Reuban and B'nai Gad were higher neshamas, they were neshamas of the Yemaisa Mashiach, they're neshamas of the Chayva, of Eliyahu, and therefore they wanted to be dafke in the land which has a shaykhis with the Yemaisa Mashiach, when the Kaini, the Knivi, Kadmoni will be in its prime, when it's going to be in all its splendor, when the Zman HaTikkun will come, and the Tzulach HaTzul Ma'arim and the Samach Mem will be removed from there, the Tzpani Afik may arise him. So therefore, the Mikneh Rav Hayel of Negad of Neruven, they had big Neshamis which corresponds with the end of Sich and the Yod. But the Tzvasem says it was really their land. And they were Chacham HaMakiras Mekayimah. They felt that their Hadassah, their instincts, their Kedushitic instincts told them, this is our land. Mikneh Rav Hayel of Negad of Neruven. Also, they have Ma'iratet and Neshamis. Neshamis of the Moshe Mashiach. They don't belong to cross the Yarden. Reuben had the Chayva, God had Eliyahu, Menashe half of the Chayva, Atzam Ma'ayid. And they wanted that this land should become part of the Har. Mikneh Rav Hayel of Negad of Reuban Atzam Ma'ayid is the gematria of the Yisem al HaKadoshim. The Har Yisem should become the Har. But Yisrael Eretz Yazer, Eretz Gilad, Fini Amakim B'Kayim Mikneh. This is their land, and they saw the land of Yazer. Yazer is the gematria Yechira Reuven. It's Reuven in his Tikkun, not in his Began. They saw the land of Gilad, not the land of Eliyahu HaGiladi. Fini Amakim, so they came and told Moshe Rabbeinu, it's a Makim Mikneh, we have a Mikneh. We want the land of the Kaini and the Knizi because it's the Lavadecha Mikneh. This kingdom belongs to us. It's our chayr, like the Sassan says. It's shayach to us. The Lavadecha Mikneh. The Rather, that's the mikne is the gematria kaini knizi. This land of season and night, which is the kaini and the knizi, this is our kingdom. We want that. So Moshe Rabbeinu on this week's service said, look, you know something that others don't know. You have a haggasha in the life of Mashiach, because everybody has a haggasha and what's shaykh to him. Like the Tzaddik says that when the Gemara says that whoever doesn't believe in Tchias HaMesim wouldn't be zayted of Tchias HaMesim, that doesn't mean that's a einish. It's a sin. Because whoever has a shaykh to Tchias HaMesim believes in it. His instincts tell him that he's going to be zayted of Tchias HaMesim. And those who will not be zayted of Tchias HaMesim don't believe in it because they have no shaykh to it. They felt, their instincts told them that this land is ours. There is no Chachma Mikayim. And nobody else knew it, because nobody wasn't that. The other Tishas Amata, they weren't in that Madrega, they didn't feel it. So Moshe Rabbeinu told them, Yadati, I know King Miknei Rav Lachem. I know your secret. I know why you want this land. Others don't know, but I do know. But still, you should have mentioned Tabsim before time. And also, perhaps you should have waited until it was given to you in Hashemayim and not make it an Achlam of Vayhola. Well, so the Rebbe of London doesn't want that this person should be learned of Yikshat. Like there are many like in the side of the very first word in the side of Reishis Baal Kim. Chasha that you can't learn of Yikshat. You can only go into the bush. There are certain Kalakim and Tzayra which you can only dash with a 12 of Ein Nika Yotzim and Shut, it doesn't apply there. So when we speak about such high lofty things, you have to go to the bush. You can't go to Pshat. Now, I would venture, Be'ezah Hashem, to say that we can learn it out of Pshat. The Zohar says, I think I once mentioned this here several years ago, that all these animals, the Shepson of Yankev Avinu, were Yiddish and Neshamas. And that was the Avodah of Yankev Avinu, the Veis Lavan, to extricate those Neshamas from Lavan where they were Bashivya, under Lavan the Samach Men, and bring them into the Gedusha under Yankev. Once he got those trying away, Vayatar Hashem is Mikna Avichem, Vayitan Ali, Vayatzil, the Reibish rescued them from your father. And he gave it to me. Once he got those tongues, he worked on them, it was Nevada them, and they became the Neshamas, the Shishim Ribai of the Neshamas of the Yidden in Mitzrayim. They were Nis'ala to the Madrega of Adam. That's what the Zohar says. The HaKadosh talks about it. Tzaddikim who come down in this world only for the tikkun of the Zohar, not for themselves, they're perfect already. They remember everything. They remember their Gogul of who they were and everything before. The Yesmach Moshe, whose Yartek of yesterday, chose his Einikel. This is written in the Agdalah to Yesmach Moshe, the third Chaylik. The Yetev of this month. The Yetev, the grandchild of the Yismach Moshe, the Yetev, the grandfather of the Satmarov, the Chaylik. So he was told by the Yismach Moshe was very, very admired this device. He heard Kuzim Bashamayim. He knew what's going on. He always used to say, I just heard in heaven that this is being announced. He heard the Kuzim Bashamayim. So he told his grandchild that he remembers all his Gevulim from before. And he remembers once he was a Kaya, once he was this. He remembers when he was in the Mizbah. He remembers the Machlaikas of Kairas Ba'ados. So the Yetzirah said, Zaidi, of course, you sided with Moshe Rabbeinu, didn't you? So Yismach Moshe answered, I was neutral. So the Yetzirah said, Zaidi, against Moshe, you were neutral? the Chaylik, but it's the Mekubal body from the Tzadikim. Yismach Moshe said that he remembers when he was a sheep by Yankov Avinu. And he showed a mark on his shoulder which he got from Yankov Avinu's stick. The original sang a niggin which he heard from Yankov Avinu playing to the sheep, which Yankov Avinu played on the flute for the sheep. A gorgeous niggin. Hasidim know that niggin. I know the niggin. It's a gorgeous niggin. But the Rosh Hashanah, they sing it from Ramah Hashem Yankov. Other tzaddikim, the Abbas had remembered that. So, we see that the sheep of the tzaddikim are not just a sheep. They're might have taken big neshamas. So there you can find it. Wonderful sheep. We're all sheep by Yankov Avinu. The Medrash, the Zayah says about right. The Medrash is Medrash Rabbah is Maram. The Medrash Rabbah says, one Mandama said Yankov Avinu had 600,000 sheep. The other Mandama says he had 600,000 Adorim. Birds. Because the cloud is that there are many more Yidden than 600,000 today. But we're all Adorim from the main Neshamas, for subdivisions of the main Neshamas, which is 600,000. So therefore, we can say shots that these three Shvatim, Reuban, Gad, Chatzi, Shevek, and Menashe, were in the Shomais of the Yemais Mashiach. So they had sheep which had a shaykhus to the Yemais Mashiach. They had made a big sheep, and they wanted that each sheep should graze in the land of Canaan community, which is a higher type of pasture than they can have across the Yarden, because they are the sheep of tomorrow, of the Yemais Mashiach. So they can benefit from the Kedusha of tomorrow. The Ayah had done this. So Moshe Rabbeinu told them, yeah, it's true. They're not very splendid sheep, and because of that, you want to build the fences for the sheep even before the building for your children, because you know how big your sheep are. But you don't tell it to everybody. Can't fool of such things. The other people don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing starts. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, in the next week further, that rak nishaychem the tapchem umikneichem. First nishaychem and tapchem, and then mikneichem. You put mikneichem before because you know how big your sheep are. You can mikneichem. I also know what kind of sheep you have. You can mikneichem. I know that it's mikneichem. It isn't much of the sheep. But it's not nishaychem. Why do you have to verbalize it that way? That everybody should have conscious on you. Anyway, these weeks are from the Ayah Hagan. Like the Abgataki writes about the days of the Zaylas and Tisha B'Av, Tuva Ganus Begabe. There's a trait which is hidden in them. The Ayah Hagan is called trait. They are the Kim Messiah trait. These weeks, the 9 days, Tisha B'Av especially, where Mashiach is hidden in Tisha B'Av, the Mother said in the Tznicha T'Leicha that Mashiach is born every
It's 7:30.
He said Mashiach was born Tisha B'Av, but the Slavim learned shot that every Tisha B'Av, a Yid is born who could be Mashiach. There are the Ayah Haganas in these weeks, in these parashas. In the B'nai Gad and B'nai Reuban, there are the Ayah Haganas there. Something which is very lofty, which we have no asad in them yet. And that's why the story of the B'nai Gad and B'nai Reuban and the other such related in Yanim are asking these weeks of the 3 weeks. These are the 3 weeks. The Netzites of Mashiach are hidden in the weeks. So therefore the Netzites of Mashiach are hidden in the Tash. If you reach the Shechina, if you try hard on Bein HaMitzvah. Ma'av and Akayim, like Slavim say, said on this day, which starts off with an it happens to be a Chagrat Hashem. But unfortunately, we have to wait for the Machar. The Medrash says, Shechem Pasuk Matzati David Avdi. It's a Pasuk in Tehillim. So the Medrash says, Heichen Mitzvah is 9. I found the David in the 9. The big mitzvahs, like the Sassan says, are concealed and covered over with the big oil. That's the idea this Kaddish has an oil. And the mitzvah is, Eli Anavi does it, takes off the oil. Now, Matzati David Avdi, David is the biggest neshama. He's David HaMelech. He's Mashiach. He's Adam HaRishon. Where do you find David HaMelech? In Zidayim. In a place which is Zavach Tzavla V'Shem Ma'ayit. In a place of light Mishtei B'Naisa. And another episode in the course of the Dairis until David HaMelech came to be and Mashiach that come to be. Matzati David Avdi B'Stein. The Reibishter didn't want that the Samach men should disturb the coming of Mashiach, so he hid the David HaMelech in the garbage can. By David B'Stein B'Naisa. The burglars won't go looking in the garbage can. So the Mashiach found that they'll never get an idea that it's there. But it's a mitzvah. Me'ashbais Yaraman. Sedain with the lily of the ice here says B'Gematria Alam Aviyas Kasina. It's shrouded over. It's covered up with garbage. And Tisha B'Av, that's the Mashiach is born of all names. Mitzvah David Avdi. These Bein HaMitzarim are meant to be big days. And there are going to be big days. And they could be big days even for us today in the Golos as long as it lasts. The Mashiach should come to Mehayada. Because if we dig, the Yachtu Ulanu Asaharet, these are 40 days of the digging. You see, in these 40 days, people usually go on vacation, they go around and people have nothing to do. What do? They come to Eretz Yisrael and they dig. But how about the other averages? It's days of digging. We also have to dig. We have to dig to find the Kedusha in these days. Heichen Mitzvah this day. Pashas Masay is the end of the time. Because the Vadim is Mishnah Torah, like the Taisa says in the first Taisa in Eden. The Torah ends really with the end of Bamidbar. So at the very end of Bamidbar, we won't go into that as a nice flood. I think we once talked about it here. So at the very end of Bamidbar we have, as he said, the Bnei Menashe said, the Yiyah HaYayvel of Bnei Yisrael. To be Yayvel. Yayvel, I think I spoke about this here last year. Yayvel means the big plow that everybody must return to his roots, to his shayrish. Reuban and Shalach Shalach, like the Ramban says. That happens when Yayvel. When the Yayvel is like Shaycha, like the Mishnah says in Rosh Hashanah. Shaycha Yayvel. You talk about Shaycha. Go there, the Baal Eizden, the Tash, and the Dachem, the Tzchayin, and they come to the Har HaKadosh B'Yerushalayim. Yayvel means to return. So, 21 times we have the word Yayvel in the Torah. 20 times in the Sefer of the Har and the Gotek. The 21st time is at the end of the time. The Yiyah HaYayvel of the Bnei Yisrael. It's the 21st time. The Shem Aleph K Yud K. That's the Shem of the Ula of Yayvel. 21 times. The Derech of the Tzaddikim was that every year they found Ramazim in the Torah that Mashiach is coming this year. Like Tzaddikim said, we are Maramis, we hit the Rabban Yisrael, and I tell you Mashiach should come this year. Maybe the Rabban Yisrael will take to him. So they figured out the materials and the union. I would like to do like the tradition do, if I am not one, that in the year Yael there's an Israel, the way it's spelled in Chumash, Yael without a verb, is the amount here, Tov Shem and Nunazan. In these weeks, in these 10 weeks when we prepare for the Tishri, we're preparing for the Yael. We're preparing for Shnat Rosen Hashem and Nachim Kol Aveilu. That all the Aveilus, that's the Chelik of the Sidracha, should be removed. And we're still in Tammuz. There's still a few hours left for Tammuz. And really, as I said before, the 9 days is really an extension of Tammuz. Tammuz is with Matthew and Melech HaMashiach. Tonight is Chodesh. Chodesh Menachem Av is with Matthew and Melech HaMashiach. That there's 2 Reganas Begavi. Mashiach is hidden in these days. And it's days of the Yachtrullah. Days of digging. You have to dig. With the Atleta, Yegiya and Tfila, Yegiya and Tzaira, Tzedakah over the crisis. With all these 3 things, this is what brings Mashiach, like Chazal tell us in many places. The avoid of the 3 weeks and the 9 days which are ahead of us, which will hopefully be interrupted by the years of Mashiach, the avoid is to work hard, learn hard, daven hard, give until it hurts, give tzedakah, give hard, the Rebbe of the healthness which is the Zeicher, that these 3 weeks within the Sabbath, the Sosim of the Simcha, 2 days of Chayra, 2 days of the Yiyah Yaibum of the Israel, like Zechariah, Navi says, Tzayna Ravi, the Tzayna Chamishi, Yiyu of the Beis Yehuda, of Yisrael, the Sosim of the Simcha, of the Mayadim Tzayna.
For the Nifla,